Coming up, some violent crimes are making headlines in our area, and more neighbors want to know why. How city leaders are trying to answer that question.
Plus, a mother speaks up on behalf of her son, who's about to be released from prison. Why a county attorney says he needs to stay locked up. KIMT News 3 at 10 starts right now.
KIMT News 3, Iowa, Minnesota, together. This is KIMT News 3 at 10 in high definition.
Well, tonight, police are still looking for the person responsible for graffiti painted near some recent crime scenes in Mason City. We showed you this video last night. These threatening messages were painted near the site of a weekend stabbing murder. Another was found at the site of a murder from last summer. Mason City Police Captain Mike McKelvey tells us there is no evidence that the crimes are related, but they are still sparking some discussion among those who live in town.
In fact, the overall crime happening in Mason City has some concern. KIMT News 3's Natalie Tendall is finding out what city leaders and police think about trouble in River City. She has more from the newsroom. And Natalie, what are you finding?
Well, Sarah, the Mason City Police Department tells us compared to the national average of crime, this city is pretty normal. They say when something big happens like a homicide in town, that gets a lot of people assuming the crime rate is going up when the uniform crime reports are reading a different story. One city council member is getting a little different view of the city he represents. Alex Kewen stepped into a police cruiser less than 24 hours after a murder in town to get a first-hand look at the department's day-to-day operations.
At the spur of a moment, they can be put in any type of situation, and it's just one of those jobs where you really never know what the day is going to bring towards you.
Some members of the community are saying lately that those days seem to be full of crime.
But I think the community is concerned. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think there should be any reason for fear. The police department we have and the staff, they do a tremendous job.
Captain Mike McKelvey with the Mason City Police Department says crime in town is not something that's gotten particularly worse.
Crime is not static. It changes, it's dynamic.
He says when compared to the nation or statewide crime reports, Mason City is pretty equal. Right now, property crimes are down, but there are spikes in violent ones. But McKelvey says it takes the help of the whole community to keep the problems under control.
So these people seeing suspicious things or crimes occur that don't report them, but then they're saying, you know, all this stuff's going on in the community, it's just terrible. Again, part of that responsibility falls upon the citizen to report a crime as it occurs as soon as possible so we can try to get there and resolve the situation.
And now that Kewen has gotten a glimpse of how things work in the law enforcement world, he's in full support of those organizations that are battling against crime every day.
Some of these instances have been drug related. Anything we can do to prevent that and keep those drugs off the street and keep kids from making those poor choices, the better chance we have of lowering the rates of these type of crimes happening.
Now, Kewen says while he has no specific plans or action plans to present to the City Council, he is open to hearing any ideas from the community or organizations about how to keep Mason City safe. He echoes what the police department says in making sure folks report any suspicious activity or problems. Sarah?
All right, thanks, Natalie. Captain McKelvey says the Mason City Police Department is a little short-staffed right now, but they are planning to hire more officers next month. And North Iowa law enforcement is confirming a B.G. Clark resident is missing from the Mason City facility. 22-year-old Devin Sexton was reported missing around 9:30 on Monday night. Police say he is not a threat to the public, but they are looking for him.
Well, it turns out a level 3 sex offender who was scheduled to be released to live with family in Albert Lea this week will be held a while longer. We told you tonight at 6 about how the Freeborn County Attorney stepped in, and now 37-year-old Matthew Radke will wait until a civil commitment hearing in a few months. A judge will then make the final decision. Now a close family member of Radke's is speaking out about this entire situation. KIMT News 3's Raquel Hellman has more from our Albert Lea newsroom. And Raquel, who did you talk with today?
Matt, I spoke with Radke's mother, who he was set to move in with this week. She tells me her son has learned his lesson and should be allowed to leave prison, but local officials don't agree. Jane Pearson has been busy getting ready for her son to move back home. It's something she's been looking forward to for weeks.
I've been doing a lot of stuff on my own, which she usually helps out, and not having a company, cooking for one, doing all the chores and everything by myself. It's a big adjustment.
Jane's son is convicted sex offender Matthew Radke. He was scheduled to be released from prison on Thursday, but a Freeborn County judge ordered Radke to remain behind bars pending a civil commitment hearing.
It was my motion seeking to have Mr. Radke held in custody pending the hearing that the judge was addressing.
Freeborn County Attorney Craig Nelson says he considered many factors when making the recommendation that Radke stay in prison. One of those factors is Radke's status as a level 3 sex offender.
That status is significant because it says that he is a person that the Department of Corrections has determined is likely to reoffend.
Radke's been convicted of very serious crimes, using threats and force in the assault of girls ages 4 and up. It's another reason Nelson wants his release delayed. But as a mom, Jane thinks the decision is unfair and says her son has already been punished enough.
And we're just praying that he gets home for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. Because all we can do is pray. God has a plan for everybody, so hopefully his plan will be for him to come home.
And Radke actually has a few options when it comes to his remaining time in custody. He could choose to remain in the prison where he already is. He could spend the time in a local jail or detention center, or he can opt to go to a treatment facility. As of right now, Radke is choosing to stay in the St. Cloud prison. Matt?
Thanks, Raquel. And Radke's civil commitment hearing is scheduled for early August. If he is committed, he will continue to remain in custody. If not, he will be on supervised release.
Leaders in Mower County are discussing some possible changes coming to a county department. Tonight, the county board held a meeting about the proposed human services redesign. 12 counties in southern Minnesota are exploring a possible collaboration. County leaders say working together could be a solution to rising costs and high demand for services.
We had to give up looking at county lines. We had to give up at looking at county identity, and we had to take a look at what's the growing need.
And officials in each county are now discussing the proposal and deciding whether to move forward. The collaboration would likely not be implemented until 2015.
Many former college students who graduated years and even decades ago are having a hard time paying off their student debt. Federal data shows Iowa has the 4th highest default rate on student loans. Financial advisors say it's very important to make sure your loan isn't toxic, which means your payments are only going toward interest. They also say to prioritize your debt payments.
Don't feel like you have to pay off every loan before you maybe begin your retirement savings, but I would pay off the higher interest rate loans and any toxic loans that you might have.
Nationwide, defaults on federal loans doubled to nearly 9% between 2005 and 2009. Default rates at public universities and nonprofit private colleges tend to be the lowest. Well, in recent years, the internet has grown into being a crucial tool for small businesses, and that's why North Iowa Area Community College is hosting a free entrepreneurs exchange called Can Your Customers Find You? It's aimed at helping business owners develop and change their web and social networking sites to attract ideal customers and help small businesses expand.
Getting found on the internet is everything with marketing. It's changed from being outbound, where we yell at people and try to get them in, and it's becoming more inbound. People are knowing what they're looking for. They're looking at Google and trying to find it. So if they can't find their business.
And she says anymore everybody looks to Google to look things up, so it is essential for businesses to have attractive and dynamic web pages.
A local fairgrounds is putting up a portion of its land for sale. The Cerro Gordo County Board decided to allow the North Iowa Event Center to sell a portion of its land. They're now working with a realtor to put about 2.5 acres on the market. It's a section that runs adjacent to the Super Target building in Mason City. The money from the sale will be used to make improvements to the facilities at the fairgrounds,
such as the expansion of existing facilities or construction of new facilities, or any type of capital improvement that might make the buildings more energy efficient or expand the capabilities and the attractions that are at the on the land.
And if the land is sold, $71,000 will be used as repayment of money the county loaned the fair, and the rest will be used for the fairgrounds improvements. Well, switching gears a bit to our weather. Not too bad of a day, but I think things are changing a little bit. I haven't left the building in a while, so I can't really give you an accurate update.
Well, it sounds like from Tyler that, I experienced this for myself. It got very nice out today, but now the clouds are rolling in.
The clouds are back, Matt and Sarah. Sarah, you just need to go outside more often.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I guess so.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And bring your umbrella. I hope you finally got that. Well, we are going to be seeing some showers roll in later on this evening, but first now we have those cloudy skies and temperatures are also cooling down. Outside on our Mason City Live Eye in the sky, it's still a quiet night and the winds are beginning to pick up as well, and that will lead to those showers later on tonight. In Garner at the Garner Hayfield Middle School, it's 54 degrees, still not bad outside. It feels rather mild. Wind out of the southeast, now southeast. It's still around 11 miles an hour. This morning, 29 degrees. We'll be much warmer than that for tomorrow morning. In Mason City for tomorrow morning, still some leftover showers by daybreak, 51 degrees. We're going to see the skies become partly cloudy by midday. We'll be back to the lower 60s by tomorrow evening, and the clouds will be increasing yet again. And I'll talk about yet another chance for some showers coming up in just a few moments.
All right, sounds good, Tyler. Thank you very much. A Minnesota family is finally getting some closure after a tragic accident at sea. Italian authorities are announcing that the remains of Gerald and Barbara Heil of White Bear Lake have been identified. They were among 5 bodies recovered from the Costa Concordia several weeks ago. The Heil family issued a statement saying they can now move forward and bring their parents home to be laid to rest.
Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton is trying to be forward-thinking when it comes to a plan for a new Viking stadium. He's looking ahead to next year after a committee defeated the plan for a public financing package the night before. The Democratic governor has made the stadium a priority this year, arguing it would result in construction jobs and keep a professional team from leaving the state. Dayton says he has no doubt it will prevail in 2013. And a proposal to raise Minnesota hunting and fishing license fees is on hold. The bill stalled today in the Minnesota Senate. The Department of Natural Resources says higher fees need to be in place to avoid budget cuts. Well, still ahead, if you are craving some quality shut-eye, you should listen to your body.
Yeah, there's another good reason for sleep besides just keeping away those under-eye circles.
HDL, BMI, a lot of medical terms, but what do they all really mean? A detailed look in tonight's Covering Your Health.
It's schedule release day across the NFL. I'm Ed Ellingson. We'll take a look at several notable games in the Vikings 2012 slate, including a late season matchup with the Pack later in sports.
You're watching KIMT News 3 at 10. News with Matt Bradley and Sarah Danick. Chief Meteorologist Adam Frederick with your Storm Team 3 weather. Sports with AJ Ellingson. And Covering Your Health with Amy Fleming. KIMT News 3. Coverage you can count on.
Going to your doctor on a regular basis is one of the best ways to stay healthy. But these days, knowing all your health information can be a little confusing. As Susan Hendricks tells us, LDL, BMI, BP, it's a whole new alphabet to learn.
Keeping heart healthy is many times like alphabet soup. So what do all the letters mean? Know your numbers, or BP, LDL, and HDL. BP is blood pressure. HDL and LDL are cholesterol.
HDL, which is your good cholesterol, that stands for high-density lipoproteins, and for men that should be above 40, for women above 50, and you should know your LDL, which is your low-density lipoproteins, and those are the bad ones. They need to be under 100 for the general population.
And what does BMI stand for?
BMI stands for Body Mass Index, and it's a very simple way of calculating the percentage of someone's body that is made up of fat. And we have ranges that we know are healthy and unhealthy. A BMI less than 25 is healthy. Above 25, you're overweight, and you need to do something about it.
And an EKG or ECG?
EKG is actually the German abbreviation for electrocardiogram. In English, we say ECG, but it's simply an electrical measurement of the heart's activity.
And if you've suffered from a TIA, should you be worried?
A TIA is a transient ischemic attack. That's a stroke that almost happened. A TIA can be a warning sign that you're at risk of having a stroke, and that should never be ignored.
All important letters to know when it comes to your health. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
And that's all for tonight's Covering Your Health. I'm Amy Fleming.
Well, here's another great reason to get all the sleep you can. Not getting enough sleep raises your risk of developing life-threatening illnesses. A study at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospital finds people who get fewer than 5 hours of sleep a night have an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. When you sleep also plays a role. Volunteers who slept at varying times saw their metabolic rate slow down by 8%.
We're going to be seeing some showers roll through overnight. That'll be first, and then we'll see some clearing throughout the day on Wednesday, and things will be getting mild yet again. I'll let you know how warm it will be coming up in your full Storm Team 3 forecast. Temperature's still not too bad outside in Garner. It's 54 degrees. The wind is beginning to pick up, and we are going to be seeing those temperatures continue to drop overnight, but really not too bad thanks to those clouds rolling in, and ahead of that warm front, things will be remaining rather mild. Right now on our live eye in the sky over Clear Lake, it's right now a quiet night, but those showers will be developing in a few hours, and then they'll be really out of here pretty quickly as we start the day tomorrow and then go throughout the afternoon hours for your Wednesday. Your almanac for today, those lows were in the 30s. Mason City, it got down to 28 this morning. The highs got to the 60s today over most of North Iowa and southern Minnesota, making for a rather pleasant afternoon overall. And the temperatures still haven't changed very much. They are in the 50s, lots of 55, 61 still in Clarion, 59 in Algona. Pretty mild night overall. And here's the infrared satellite and radar. We're seeing a few light showers that are beginning to roll through. We're going to be seeing those redevelop as we go throughout the overnight hours tonight and in closer to daybreak. Currently outside the cool areas with this high pressure system just off to the north and to the east, lots of mild air. 60 in Des Moines, 60 in North Platte. That's ahead of that warm front that we've been watching. That's going to move through overnight tonight. Here's your satellite and radar combination showing that we're really getting its act together. This warm front is associated with the low pressure system, and it's actually kind of a two-punch system. We're going to see this one roll through, and then behind it there's going to be another one developing. That's actually on the Pacific Northwest coast at the moment. That'll be rolling through for Thursday. Here is that 3D weather flight showing that closer to that low pressure system, that's where some of the heavier shower activity is taking place, as well as a few isolated thunderstorms in portions of South Dakota. That warm front has now lifted through. That'll keep things above normal overnight tonight in terms of temperatures. But now keep an eye on Skycast. It shows we'll have those little showers roll through, and now it's kind of weakens with some of the newer model runs. So these showers, again, as what they've been previously showing, will be very weak in nature. Don't expect a lot of precipitation out of this. But then tomorrow we're going to see lots of clear skies return as this cold front passes through. It's going to be a rather weak one, of course, because we're still going to have temperatures in the 60s and even some 70s, but behind it, that'll be our next system with another warm front and another cold front that will really be bringing down those temperatures for Thursday. In our overnight detail, Storm Team 3 forecast upper 40s, a few lower 50s, a few showers, possibly an isolated storm closer to daybreak, but the chances of that are looking like it's not going to be the best shot for that. Southwest winds at 13 to 17 miles an hour. For tomorrow, highs will be back in the upper 60s, a few lower 70s. Southwest winds becoming northwesterly at 11 to 16 miles an hour. Starting the day with those light showers, and then we'll see the clouds on the decrease throughout the day. Tomorrow night, we'll see those temperatures back to the 40s as clouds will increase again. That'll be ahead of that system that'll be rolling through for Thursday. Showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. A better chance for seeing a few isolated thunderstorms will be during the day Thursday. In addition to that rain, temperatures cool down behind that cold front back to the 50s. We'll have a few more cold mornings of lows in the 30s and close to freezing there by Saturday morning. Eventually things clear out. Lots of sunshine by the second half of the weekend, and then temperatures are going to return back to the 70s.
Possibly 70s tomorrow, get back down to freezing, then back to the 70s. What is going on?
It's spring in Iowa and Minnesota. That's all I can tell you. This is what happens. It does. That's right.
I guess that's a good enough reason.
I know.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, each year, KIMT News 3 honors local students as our Scholastic All-Stars. They represent the best of the best in our area.
And tonight we are taking a look at the Turkey Valley Community School. William Keener is the president of the National Honor Society. He's also a part of the concert choir. William plans to attend Iowa State University.
And Sterling Shatek is a member of the National Honor Society. He plays golf and is in choir. Sterling will be attending the University of Northern Iowa. And if you want to check out your school's All-Stars, just head over to KIMT.com and click the Scholastic All-Stars link.
We'll be showcasing them each night and then post them up on the web, so check them out. Well, the Albert Lee baseball team is hoping their third win of the season will come against a conference rival.
Plus, it is on to round 2 for the Austin Bruins. Find out how much confidence the team is skating with after a dominating first-round series. Up next in sports.
Albert Lee baseball fans, make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 6 when we honor one of the Tigers' best players as our Student Athlete of the Week. But tonight, Coach Joe Sablewski and company have other things planned. Tonight, the Tigers look to pick up win number 3 of the season against Mankato West. Dylan Searocker's on the mound for the Tigers. He grabs the comebacker right here. He went the distance today, giving up just 2 runs. One of those comes right here. The Tigers can't quite turn the double play. Mankato West will score both of their runs in the 3rd inning. Searockers helps himself with the dish. He gets one to drop in right here. It'll score Cody Sheriff. The Tigers making the comeback. Then later, Derek Burgard ties it up here on a botched play by Mankato West. Ethan Abbott would score the winning run in the 5th. Albert Lee wins 3-2. The Twins are looking to make it 2 straight at the Yankees tonight. We've seen this one 5 times already this season. In the 2nd inning, Josh Willingham clears the wall in center. 1-zip Twins at this point. After that, it's all Yankees. Derek Jeter will single in a run in the 5th inning. New York wins 8-3. The NFL is releasing their schedule for next season, and the Vikings will be at home to start the year. Jacksonville will be in Minneapolis for Week 1. In Week 2, the Vikings' first road game will be in Indianapolis. Weeks 12 and 13 will be tough with back-to-back road games against the Bears and the Packers. After the first playoff series win in team history, it's back to business this week for the Austin Bruins. Great goaltending from Tyler Bruggeman has made the Bruins tough to beat so far this postseason. Bruggeman finished the series against Alexandria with a shutout and had a 1.91 goals against average, but as well as he played, his teammates don't seem to care. Watch the ice go right up into his face on that play. All kidding aside, the team's happy to have Tyler in their corner.
The biggest thing was he allowed us to get in a rhythm, feel what playoff hockey was all about, and we were able to come away with a victory in Game 1. And then for the rest of the series, he was just steady, doing his job, doing what he's supposed to do to help us win games.
Well, the D was really good in front of me. They made it really easy on me. You know, Alex didn't get a whole lot of traffic, especially in the last 2 games, and you know that makes my job easy.
The Bruins start the Central Division Championships this Friday on the road in Bismarck. Let's head to Charles City for the boys' Comet Relays. We start with the big school, 1,600 meters. Watch Charles City's Will Jarwell stretch out for 2nd place. He's pumped after a time of 4:57.04. Next up, small school 200. This reminds me of his run at Woodward Granger in the football playoffs. St. Ansgar's Kyle Hansen with a 23:73. Same race, now the big school, Central Springs. Andrew Bierke clocks a winning time of 23:48. Our final race is the small school 400 hurdles. Rob Rotler of North Butler runs away with first place. He has a title time of 58.58. They're off to a great start this season, but does the West Fork boys golf team think they're the conference favorite? We'll find out after the break. Perfection was not one of the things that the West Fork boys golf team talked about this preseason. The Warhawks knew they were talented, but were more concerned on just making it to state. But early in the season, the Warhawks have been perfect and are now one of the favorites in this year's Corn Bowl Conference race. At practice this afternoon, I asked the team if they believe the title was theirs to lose. They say it's way too early to be asking that question.
You know, I think something like that is maybe in the back of their minds, but right now we're just focusing on improving, you know, from meet to meet and practice to practice, and you know, preparing for the second season, which is in May.
The Warhawks will return to the links this Thursday in an all-local quadrangular at Nashua, Plainfield. North Butler and Riceville will also be there. Minnesota boys golf is starting up around the area today. Austin's hosting a triangular with Albert Lee and Rochester Century. The Packers' Alex Thorson finishes with an 87. Albert Lee's Brady Falk is your medalist with a 78. Nice chip right here before he'll tap in from close range. Century's C.J. Frischer rattles home his putt. Frischer finishes 1 stroke behind Falk, but Albert Lee beats out Century by 10 strokes for the title today. The Tigers shoot a team score of 327. Lots of local stuff, but I'm going to end on a downer. The Minnesota Timberwolves have now lost 11 straight games. And again, the season's almost over. So that's the good news.
150 games left, and it's almost over.
Well, on your weather, we'll see some showers roll in tonight and clearing later in the day tomorrow.
All right, enjoy your night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.